Hey everyone, in today's photo shoot behind the scenes video, we're going to be comparing the 85mm and the 135mm focal length when it comes to portrait photography. So I have the Canon 85mm 1.2 and the Canon 135mm f2, and I'm shooting with them both on the Canon 5D Mark IV, which is a full frame sensor. Today's model is Karina and Lydia is doing hair and makeup. So I really hope you guys enjoy today's photo shoot. Can I please get you to stand just on the edge of that square bit? So I'm gonna start with a full body shot for this one. Okay. Whoa, I'm so close up. I need to run to the water to get a full body shot.
There's no doubt that both the 85 and 135mm are great lenses for full body shots due to their compression and thus lack of distortion with this kind of composition. So I was really excited to try this test out first.
Do you want to try stretching your arms up?
For me personally, the 135 shot wins here. I love the straight lines in the background and how Karina pops from the background as well. And by the way, I also didn't add any lens correction in post.
This one I can be a lot closer. Oh, not that close.
One downside to the 135 is the amount of space you need to capture a full body shot and the fact that you need to be so far away from your subject. I kind of felt like I was shouting when trying to give Karina some direction with the shot that I was going for.
Do you want to try some, you could kind of swing your arms. Yeah.
With the 85mm, it was nice that I was able to get in quite a lot closer for the full body shot. Here are the two focal lengths side by side so you guys can have a look. Again, I think my favorite here is the 135, but I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments. I'm zooming in to 100% here to also show you the chromatic aberration from the 85 on her jumper.
I have to be so far away with this lens, it's insane. Let's get down there to those little tree bits. I'm going to stand just next to the...
Next up, we are testing a classic close-up composition, backlit with some trees in the background so we can see what the bokeh difference is as well. Both lenses are sharp, wide open, and neither lens had any issues focusing in this situation. I have a 100% zoom comparison coming up in a second so you guys can see. I was shooting at f1.2 on the 85mm and f2 on the 135mm.
They're pretty. Oh wow, that bokeh there.
Looking at the images side by side, this is my subjective opinion, but I feel like the 85 has a slightly creative feel to the headshot, probably due to the depth of field. And the 135 has a more classic look to the headshots we took, as it looks like a flatter image compared to the 85. I'm also preferring what the 135 bokeh looks like here in particular, as it's more defined compared to the washed out 85 bokeh. But again, just like the full body photos, both these focal lengths are so great at producing a close-up portrait.
So now we're going to shoot some harsh lit backlit portraits, so the sun is directly hitting the model from behind and straight into my lens at f2.8 on both lenses.
Yet again, neither lens had much trouble focusing against the harsh backlight. I did get a few extra out of focus shots on the 135mm though, but there was honestly not a big difference between the two.
Alright, let me just film with this one as well.
At f2.8, both focal lengths did a good job in throwing out the highly textured and busy background to get the model to stand out. The 135 blurred out the rocks just that little bit more, which I really like, but I do personally prefer the more defined bokeh of the 85 here, which again, I have 100% crop for you guys to see.
You wanted to kind of reach up to your shoulder maybe?
This one was a little harder to pick my favorite from. They are both quite similar photos, so I would love to hear what you guys think as well.
We're going to do a walking shot now on the 135, just to show you that it is a little bit difficult to capture movement photos on this lens. Alright, when you're ready, you can swing your arms around as well. It's kind of like a dreamy, fun walk, I don't know. So lame. Beautiful. Alright, that's good. I like it.
I just felt it.
It was cute. You were just in the moment.
Here are all the photos I took on the 135mm walk. As you can see, since it's such a telephoto lens, it's very difficult to be able to capture the right composition, especially when a spontaneous movement happens, such as when Karina spun around. A lot of the time I cropped out her head or her legs, and just in general, I found it really difficult to be able to frame the shot correctly with movement.
All right, we'll do the same with the other one as well. Let me get a bit further back. When you're ready, and you can spin again, you can smile as well. That's cute. Perfect. Yeah, this one's like much easier, can like get you in the shot every time.
Yeah. While the 85mm is also a challenge to capture movement shots on, I personally prefer to use something wider like a 35 or a 50 for these kinds of photos, but it was a lot easier to walk backwards and maintain my composition for the majority of photos on the 85.
Can I get you to stand just here, please? Yeah. Sorry, it's in the shade. We're gonna try and shoot some portraits at f4 to see how much texture we can get with these super compressed bokeh lenses. That's like a new term, bokeh lens. All right, just from what I'm seeing in the back of the screen, it still looks like it has way too much bokeh.
Unlike other focal length comparisons we've done, the 85 and 135mm lenses are very similar to each other when it comes to portraits. In this location, I loved what the 135 looks like a little bit more. Due to the focal length, I was able to capture the composition I wanted of a mid-length portrait, and all the distractions you can see in the 85 shot, such as the grass in the bottom left and the windowsill at the top left, have all been cropped out of the 135 shot.
It's a bit closer as well.
When it comes to taking portraits at f4, again, both lenses are extremely sharp. As you can see in the 100% crop comparison, I do believe the 135 is that slight bit sharper than the 85, but both are sharp enough for portrait photography. The last comparison we're going to do is extreme close-up portraits.
The widest aperture the 135 goes to is f2, so we're going to shoot these super close-up portraits, both these lenses on f2, and I'll shoot a couple at the end at 1.2 on the 85. And we're going to get in as close as we possibly can to Karina's face, up to the point where the lens just doesn't focus anymore, and see what they look like.
With the 135 close-ups, you have two settings on the Canon lens where you can focus 1.6 meters to infinity, which is the first photo that we're seeing.
Oh, what was that? Oh, okay.
It's on your hand.
Oh, yeah, I felt it.
You're so calm right now. It's just landing on your...
I didn't want it to sting me. I was like, don't fling it. Can you move, please?
Then you also have the option to change it to 0.9 meters to infinity focus, and here is where you can get some extreme close-up portraits with just the eyes to the chin in the frame.
So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I would love to hear from you in the comments which lens you preferred and why. For me personally, I think I prefer the 85. Both lenses can take pretty dreamy and beautiful portraits, but I feel like the 85 is that little bit more convenient because I don't have to be miles away from my model while I'm taking photos and kind of yelling out instructions, which takes away kind of the intimacy of a photo shoot, and I can't really chat while I'm taking photos. So I definitely feel more comfortable shooting with the 85. But yeah, please let me know what you guys thought in the comments. And also, just in case you haven't seen it, I also did a photo shoot comparing all my prime lenses, so all 5 prime lenses that I use, and I'll leave that link down below in case you guys are interested in watching. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching today's video. I make new videos every Wednesday, so I will see you guys all next time. Bye.